Good morning, everybody. It's barely still morning, 11:09 on Wednesday. Hello, it is Driven Fitness Erica here, your friendly and fabulous personal trainer and online health and wellness expert. How's it going, people? It is time for my weekly Facebook Live coaching session. So, as I see if anyone can join in, I'm thinking this 11 a.m. time slot for Wednesdays, if you like to watch me live, is going to work. So we're going to see. What do we have coming up? We have a tank top arms challenge coming up August 16th. It starts August 16th. I will put the link below in the comments after I'm done with this video. There were some issues with the link. I reposted it in the original post, so try it again. Let me know. Hopefully it's working fine. I have one subscriber, so it is working. I'm not sure why it wasn't working before for you. So hopefully that is corrected. Starts August 16th. You get 5 days of very short upper body workouts delivered to your email every day for 5 days to help you get those tank top arms because it's still hot out, right? It's still summertime. All right, this week is actually a follow-up to last week's session, which was on the 2 things that women need to do to get toned, which was number 1, eating enough protein, and number 2, lifting heavy weights. Heavy weights, right? It's not 3 pounds, it's not 5 pounds, it's not bar, or Pilates where you're doing stuff for 60, 90 seconds at a time. It's heavy lifting where you reach your muscle failure within like 8 to 12 reps. So I got some questions and concerns about that. So that's what I wanted to talk to about today. It's just a quick little follow-up. So the fears I heard about, or the questions that I heard about that I thought we should answer is number 1, I'm afraid, what happens if I won't be able to do as many reps as I normally can do? And the answer is, that is what you are supposed to do, not as many reps, right? So when you are lifting lighter weights, we tend to go by volume, so the amount of time or the amount of reps that you do. So that is like, maybe 15, 20, 30, 40 reps at a time, building muscular endurance. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not what we want you to be concentrating on when you're going through that menopause phase in your life, okay? So when you lift weights that are heavier, when you bump up 1 or 2 weight classes, you aren't going to be able to do as many. That's the point. We want you to reach that muscular fatigue and somewhere between that 8 and 12 rep range. What is muscular fatigue? That means you cannot go any more, you can't do any more reps and maintain good form. That's muscular fatigue. If you get through your bicep curls, just say for example, and you've done 15 and you're like, oh yeah, I could probably do 5 more, that is not muscular fatigue, right? We want you to go to failure with good form. Within reason, right? So say like you're by yourself and you don't feel comfortable trying to lift something overhead or a bench press to failure. You might have to go a little bit less. Say you're working out at home and you don't have heavy enough weights to go to failure. You're not going to be able to do that, right? So take everything I say with a grain of salt. But that is correct. You will not be able to do as many reps as you can with a lighter weight, and that's the point. Number 2, I won't be able to finish a whole set or more than 1 set. That's okay. Again, you are bumping up in difficulty. You shouldn't be able to do the same amount that you could do, and that's all right. So if you're in a class format, say like, and you're trying to work on this, so in my classes, we have people of all ranges of age, ability level, like injuries, issues. So in your head, say like you're going through that menopause phase, you're trying to work on this heavier lifting. And I'm saying we're going to do a minute of something. You might not be able to do a minute. That's okay. You do you, right? If you only want to do 10 super heavy weight reps, 10 reps, and everyone else is doing 20, do your 10 and then take a break. When you are doing heavier weights, you are tapping into those hard energy systems and you're going to need more rest anyway to regroup for the next set, right? So that is okay if you can't do as many reps. If you're in a class, don't worry, you just get a little bit more break and that's okay. You should need more break. It'll be hard. But it's going to be hard. Yes, it is going to be hard. But again, our body is made to be doing hard things. If it's not hard, if it's not difficult, if it's not easy, and most importantly, if you are not uncomfortable. If you're comfortable, then you are not going to see the changes that you're looking for. So it needs to be hard. Again, we are working to that muscular failure. And then last is like, I might feel like I'm feeling. What do I do if I'm feeling like I'm feeling? That is a mindset shift, right? You have to think about your goal as opposed to everyone else's goal. Don't worry what everyone else is doing in your class or your group of friends or whatever. Think about what your goal is and what you're doing. You're working on strength, trying to build and maintain muscle mass, and a few other things that actually happen with heavy lifting, especially for women in this age group. It stimulates human growth hormone is a big one, which again helps you maintain that muscle mass. So you have to shift your mindset from I'm failing because I'm not doing the same thing everyone else is doing. I'm failing because I'm not getting as many reps in as I used to. Because again, you're trying to accomplish a different goal. So you are not failing if you can't do as many. You're not failing if you can't do as many sets. You're actually succeeding. That means that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is lifting heavy things, which takes a lot of effort. The other thing you can do if you're in a class format and you hate feeling like you're resting while everyone else is working, is you can start with your heavy weight, do your 10 reps, and then you can go to a lighter weight for the rest. But again, that's kind of not the point of what you're doing. You want those heavy weights in the fewer rep range. And maybe don't take classes that are more cardio oriented. Take classes that are more weightlifting oriented. And the last thing I'll say about taking what I say with a grain of salt is that some of this is dependent on age and where you are in your life. If you're in that post-menopausal age, you're in your late 60s, early 70s, like this doesn't apply to you as much, right? Because the amount of change, improvement that you're going to be seeing as you enter those later years in life at some point is going to plateau. Just biologically speaking, yes, there are those few people you see on social media and they're 80 years old and they look fantastic and they can lift all this weight, heavy weight, and they have a six-pack. That is really rare. Number one. Number two, you have no idea if those photos are doctored. Number three, you don't know what their background was. Maybe they were a weightlifter. Maybe they've been lifting weights since they were 16, right? If you started in your 40s, 50s, 60s even, your ability to keep improving will be a much, much shorter journey, and that's just because the body just can't handle it. Your focus should not be on continually lifting heavier and heavier weights. Your focus should be on maintaining a movable body that can move well through its whole ranges of motion while increasing your strength at an acceptable and relative level, right? So maybe we don't want you struggling to get out 8 reps, because does that put you into danger for injury, tearing something? Maybe you have arthritis. There's a lot of other things to take into account when you're deciding how heavy to lift. And that is a conversation you should have with a professional like me before you decide it, right? So when I'm talking about this heavy lifting and like stimulating human growth hormone, all that stuff, yes, you should be lifting and working to challenge yourself as a person who's in that 60, 70 age range. But this is really for people who are in that like 35, 45 to 55 age range. They're really in the midst of this menopause battle, right? And there's some specific things that we want to do to alleviate your symptoms, make you happier and healthier, and help you get through this time. If you're in that post-menopause phase, you just have some other stuff that you need to be concerned about, including osteoporosis, osteopenia. If your bones are a little bit more fragile, maybe we don't want you loading your muscles and your bones that much. All right, so food for thought. Always realize that when I have these videos, they don't apply to everybody. If I'm saying women over 45, maybe I should say women over from 35 to 55 is who this really applies to, right? Just think about what works good for you and yourself and your own goals within your own body, within any injuries you have, within the time you have, the energy you have, right? Okay, so that's it. Hopefully that answered a few of the questions that people had. Make it a great day, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.